কি লাগবে গল্পই তো শুনবি। Okay, so দেখতো আমি ভিজিবল। ওকে, অম্লান হয়তো মেসেজ করতে পারে। Fine. So last day, the string of videos that we have learned about the immune system, right? We have learned about immune system. Today is the day to check that how much you have learned about immune system from me. আগের দিন তো শুনলি। This chapter generally deals with diseases. কি করিস?
Close up.
হ্যাঁ ঠিক আছে। This chapter deals with diseases and with immune system. How our body fights those diseases. You have quite a lot of diseases. About those diseases, I'll give you notes. Okay? And about immune system, you will write down notes seeing my video. Previous video, I have discussed about the immune system, taking examples of our various diseases and how immune system functions, what is antigen, what is antibody. Acha. In the previous video, I think I told that there are 5 immunoglobulins. Then you propped from there that there are 7. No, you were wrong. There are 5. I cross-checked. How will you remember the name of the 5 immunoglobulins? Simple thing. Mega D. You will remember the word Mega D. Mega MEGA and D. Immunoglobulin M, immunoglobulin E, immunoglobulin G, immunoglobulin A, immunoglobulin D. Mega D. 5 immunoglobulins are there in the human body. What are immunoglobulins? Immunoglobulins are antibodies, right? Antibodies produced from the B cells. Today we will deal with little bit about the structure of the immunoglobulins. That in the previous video you have learned that how immunoglobulins can how immunoglobulins are produced or how antibodies are produced from a particular bacteria. When a particular bacteria has attacked or a particular virus has attacked or a particular toxin has entered your body, right or wrong, what happens, okay, how the immune response is evoked in our body. What is hypersensitivity, you get fever, okay, all these things I told you. What is inflammation, that you also understood, how inflammation occurs, then how different types of cells go and what the different types of cell does to raise the antibody against the particular antigen that has entered. Now these antigens are the structures present in the bacterial cell or the structures present in the viral capsid. Viral capsid means the protein cover of the virus is known as the viral capsid. Now how they go and bind and what tempts them to go and bind to the specific sites, that we will try to understand. You see, I don't know, it will be see Avrudeep, check it is visible in the camera. Yeah, this is NCERT book only, people can is anybody viewing it? Amlan is viewing it, okay. So this is done. This is immunoglobulin structure. You can see it is a Y-shaped structure. Now these two protein chains are called heavy chains. These are quite heavy molecular weight. And as you can see, they are linked by sulfur bonds. Both the heavy chains dutake atkaye rakhar to kichu lagbe. Okay, they are both linked with sulfur bonds. And along with the heavy chains, there are 2 light chains. This is a light chain, this is a light chain. Right? So that's why we call an immunoglobulin to be H2L2, heavy 2, light 2, heavy chain and light chain. Now here you can see that there is, if you can see your NCERT book also, you can open your NCERT book and check that here you see a different type of structure, unique type of structure is here. Some type of structure as if it is to cling to something, to hold to something, like a key, right or wrong. Like in enzymes you have learned that enzymes also have such kind of active site. Okay, so these structures hold what? Any idea? What are antibodies meant for?
Antigens.
To bind to the antigens. This is the place through which they bind to the antigens. This is the particular place through which they bind to the antigen. So we will call them ABSs, antigen binding sites, not anti-locking braking system. ABS बोलने से बच्चे लोगों का दिमाग में आता है एंटी लॉकिंग ब्रेकिंग सिस्टम. अरे सर के बाइक में ABS है, उस गाड़ी में ABS है, डुअल चैनल ABS है. Here ABS is antigen binding site, which is this. Now this antigen binding site is very specific. If a specific bacteria has entered or a specific virus has entered, against that virus your immune systems are evoking out. How they are evoking out, that thing I have discussed in the previous class. Right or wrong? And the B cells or the B plasma cells. There are two types of B cells, B plasma cells and B memory cells. B memory cells remembers. B plasma cells produces. Right or wrong? So keeping in mind, or the body or the human body or the human defense system keeping in mind that what kind of antigen has attacked or what type of antigen is present, and according to that, various immune system recognition is there. I have told you in previous class, if you remember, there are antigen presenting cells which present the antigenic structure to the T helper cells. The T helper cells in turn signals the B cells that okay, please, this is the genetically it triggers it that please release this such a kind of antibody which have a specific structure to kill this type of antigen. And what is the structure of this antigen? This is the structure of the antigen presented to them. Right or wrong? And hence these sites for each and every organism attacking, or each and every antigen attacking, or each and every toxin attacking you will be different to kill them. However, we also have some general antibodies or immunoglobulins produced already present in our body. And how that happens? That happens due to your history of infection. What are the infections you have faced? I am putting this down. I hope this has entered in your mind. Okay, what are the types of infections you have faced from growing up? According to that, your body must have produced your immunoglobulins. Yes or no? And according to those antigenic structures, your immunoglobulin must have created, immunoglobulin must have created the specific structure of the antigen binding site, which is very specific for docking the antigen. Are you getting my point? Two terms always remember, docking and anchoring. The cell always docks, the antigen that enters always anchors. Suppose a virus has entered. The virus will bind to the cell to enter to the cell. That is known as anchoring. And the cell binding to the virus, from cell's point of view, cell also binding to the virus, or antibody binding to the virus to kill it, that is known as docking. Are you getting my point? Docking also occurs in case of drugs. Drugs also goes with a specific molecular structure, goes and heals you. How? In different cells, the drugs goes and the cells dock the drugs. Are you getting my point? So anchoring and docking, this you remember. So this should be very specific between an antigen and an antibody. It should be very, very specific between an antigen and an antibody. কখনো কখনো দেখি সেখানে স্লো ইন্টারনেট কানেকশন দেখাচ্ছে কিনা, ঠিক আছে?
ওটা ঠিক করতে হচ্ছে।
হ্যাঁ। Okay, so this is what happens. So you see, অম্লান মাঝে মাঝে একটু কমেন্ট করে বলিস, কোনো ডাউট থাকলে আমরা এখানে দেখে তোকে রিপ্লাই দিয়ে দিব। ওকে, তো কি বলতেছিলাম আমি?
Docking site and anchoring.
Docking and anchoring, this to happens. So what I mean to say is, in our body, do you think that एक वायरस अटैक करबे, एक वायरस अटैक करेगा और एक बैक्टीरिया अटैक करेगा तभी एंटीबॉडी प्रोड्यूस होके? तब तो हो गई। हमारे बॉडी में ऐसे भी नॉर्मल एंटीबॉडीज घूमते रहते हैं। नॉर्मल जो छोटे मोटे से इन्फेक्शंस होते हैं वो तो डिजीज मैनिफेस्ट कर ही नहीं पाते। डिजीज मैनिफेस्ट कर पाते हैं, उससे पहले मर जाते हैं। तुमको क्या लगता है? I use this made by me. My famous phrase is energy is inversely proportional to stability. Stability is inversely proportional to energy. Always apply this to any physics and chemistry concept. It will never be wrong. Be it any level. Okay, there are many, I don't remember now. One which I remember now, I use in this chapter. I get surprised when you stay healthy. If you are infected, I am not surprised. Because The microorganisms are ubiquitous, my dear. The virus, the bacteria are all over the places.
Oh.
Okay, and we have lot of portals of entries. Ears, nose, mouth.
I see.
Do I have to mention more? You know. Yes or no? Yeah. We get urine infection sometimes when we pee on the, what to say, in the dirty toilets, public toilets. Sometimes people get it. Right or no? So, portal of entry, anus, genital pores. Okay, lots of portals of entry are there, and microorganisms are all around, ready to infect you.
They can also come in through the skin also. I mean,
They infect the skin, they colonize the skin. See, example, ringworm developed.
Which ringworm?
It's ringworm. Okay, it has developed in the skin. Okay, so this is actually infecting the skin. So infection is there. Remember, when we talk about infection, if anybody asks you, define infection. What you have to say? Infection is entry of harmful pathogen in our body. Okay, see, infection is something which occurs. Another is commensalism. You know, there are skin commensals. মানে তোর স্কিনে থাকবে, but it will not harm you. One is parasitism, one is commensalism. Parasitism is it will utilize your nutrition, then you will get disease. Okay, if the organism enters, it will grow. Commensalism also, it will in commensals will grow very slowly but will not harm you. Like for example, Propionibacterium acne, which causes acne. Do you think acne is harming you? No. Propionibacterium is just colonizing that place. Gota hai. It's not a major, we can call it a commensal. Are you getting my point? So obviously commensalism is there, but I am talking about infection. What I just got diverted, I was trying to say you about immunoglobulins, that is 5 types of immunoglobulins are there, types if I divide. Mega D, MEGAD, immunoglobulin M, immunoglobulin E, immunoglobulin G, immunoglobulin D, or immunoglobulin A. Now these immunoglobulins are produced how? Suppose you got an infection, previous class also I told, suppose you got an infection. At that place inflammation may occur, or your body may have fever. Due to vigorous what is fever? Due to vigorous reactions of the immune cells, your body temperature goes up. And your body temperature goes up, that is good. Actually, due to that heat, some virus and bacteria cannot grow also, because virus and bacteria or protozoa or any other organism which is trying to infect you, it likes it's your body temperature is its ambient temperature for growth. That's why it tries to grow in you. At that time, the body's defense, one of the defense mechanism is getting fever. Temperature becomes high, the organism start, little bit getting suppressed. Also, fever occurs due to vigorous immune reactions. Are you getting my point? Now, these vigorous reactions, neutrophils, eosinophils, they monocytes, they monocytes turn into macrophages. Neutrophils, eosinophils, macrophages, different types of macrophages are there. They engulf those they do phagocytosis and kills. And some of them সবাইকে তো আর মারতে পারে না. That's why it is spreading in the body. That's why some of the cells present the antigen by MHC complex, major histocompatibility complex. Through it is bounded on their cell membrane of the phagocytes. Okay, they present the antigens to the T helper cells. T helper cells then gives it to the B plasma cells that this is the type of antigen that has entered. You please make antibody against it, so that your antigen binding site of your immunoglobulin that you will make is specific for this kind of antigen. Please make it. And B cells is so clever, B plasma cells differentiate into B memory cells and keep the information. ठीक है भाई, 4-5 को लगा दिया है, उसी काम में वापस आने दे उसको. At that time, I don't require T helper cell, I don't require any kind of macrophages. They will do their work. I will trigger my like that. This is the basis of immunization or vaccination. Vaccine was first discovered by Edward Jenner. Edward Jenner, what he observed is that Edward Jenner saw, अरे पूरा इंग्लैंड में तो पूरा एकदम स्मॉल पॉक्स छा गया, अभी अपन क्या करें? He noticed दूध वाले को चिकन पॉक्स नहीं होता, सॉरी स्मॉल पॉक्स नहीं होता. उसका तो दिमाग ठनक गया, ये कैसे हो सकता है? सबको हो रहा है, दूध वाले को क्यों नहीं होता है? तो he started inspecting. He went and saw that cows have bacteria, cowpox virus. And the dudwalas, the milkmans, remain in close contact with the cows. They milk the cows, they take care of the cows. Those viruses have entered, portal of entry is open. Those viruses entered. Viruses may enter through droplet, enter directly through air. Okay, those viruses is entered. Right or wrong? And as because those viruses are there in their body or has infected the body, immune system got alerted. Those viruses could not maybe manifest a very harmful disease in the particular milkman, but the structure of cowpox virus is same as the structure of smallpox virus. So the antigen binding sites will be useful, or the antibodies, the antigen binding sites of the antibodies or the antibodies will be useful for that particular virus, smallpox virus also. That's why when smallpox outbreak is there, the milkmans are not getting it. He thought that call everybody cowpox isolate करके सबको cowpox दे देला first vaccine. And now we are trying to make coronavirus ka vaccine. I will talk about vaccination pore. There is first generation vaccine, there is second generation vaccine, there is third generation vaccine. Okay, these things you need to know because you are neat as parents, and I think that when we learn new things emerge in these competitive exams, questions from these new current things they give. Okay, so a little bit tell you about coronavirus or the disease COVID-19, but let's first understand things. Okay, so what I was trying to say is that if these things that I have said up till this much, if this is a generalization, then that means all the antibodies that are going around in our body are specific to particular antigens. Is it so? Maybe it is so, but these we can see as a generalized also, because some viruses and bacteria infect us again and again, and we already get immunized against them. Getting immunized means already our antibodies are present against them. Some bacteria are there in our gut only. Those bacteria also tell the immune system, please be ready. They are in less number. You see what happens? Good bacteria are there and harmful bacteria are there. Both colonize the gut. Good bacteria grow in such a way that the nutritional supply to the bad bacteria or the harmful bacteria are very less, and they are less in number. They don't die, they are less in number. But from their structure, the immune system gets alert. From food, this type of organisms can attack. So these are the things. Now, you see that I am telling you that this kind of antibodies are there roaming around in our blood, in our lymph, and this is known as humoral immunity. And another is cell mediated immunity. I told you that T helper cell के अलावा T lymphocyte में और एक है which is T cytotoxic cells, T C cells. Or in your NCERT, they like to call it T killer cells. Okay, because they directly release, chemicals like histamine, serotonin, and they spread it and kills the infected cell. Her cell रखने जिस cell को infect किया, उसी को मार दो. And when this T cytotoxic cell becomes too much vigorous, people cannot handle the reaction of immune system with the entered antigen, and that is disease. That is when you get hospitalized. You cannot handle the manifestation that is occurring inside your body. Okay, so now going back to the fact that why I told that you got infected, that doesn't surprise me. You are healthy, that surprises me. If our immune system is so active, why did you say so? Because even if our immune system is so active, or such a good line of different lines of defenses are there, and such cell mechanisms are there, but still microorganisms also, see, we live in a world of evolution. Yes or no? Continuously every living organism try to evolve. These pathogenic microorganisms, whom we call pathogens or pathogenic microorganisms, the microorganisms which invade human body to grow in them and cause disease, are known as pathogens. infectious microorganisms are known as pathogens. These pathogens also try to evolve and hide themselves or evade the immune system or the immune response. This depends on their mechanism of causing the disease, and this also depends on the lethal dose to which they have attacked you. Lethal dose means suppose 2 bacteria entered, suppose 5,000 bacteria entered in your body. Can happen? Do you think both the manifestations will be same? No. In case of 5,000, they will spread faster, and so this is one of the things that you should keep in your mind. So I hope you have understood the structure of the immunoglobulin. There is a heavy chain, 2 heavy chains linked by sulfur bond, 2 light chains like this. Light chains are again double. Okay, they are also linked by sulfur bonds, and in between the light chains there is specific antigen binding sites through which they bind the antigen. Understood? Now, see, one is cell-mediated immunity, humoral immunity, understood, and when T cytotoxic cells kills the other cells which are infected only, antigen, choro, that is known as cell-mediated immunity. Okay, so these things I have told, I think, in the previous video also. Now the fact is this, that in the immune system, in your NCRT what they have said, there is physical barrier. Physical barrier is skin, physical barrier, in the gastrointestinal tract or in every tract that is there, in the gastrointestinal tract or the, respiratory tract or urinal tract, urogenital tract, they say. Any of the tract, there is cilia, there is some physical barrier so that the microorganisms that has entered, they can be thrown out due to the ciliary movements of in the tracts, the cilia that are present. That is there. That is physical. There is physiological barrier. There is release of lysozymes in the saliva to kill the bacteria. Lysozymes are those enzymes which breaks down the cell wall of gram-positive bacteria. Gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria. It was there in class 11. Remember. Okay, it breaks down the cell wall of the gram-positive bacteria. Most gram-negative bacteria are also infectious. Gram-positive bacteria, among infectious pathogens of the bacteria world, gram-positive are also infectious. There are infectious, gram-positive are also there, gram-negative are also there. But saliva acts as a barrier to the gram-positive ones because they break down the, the cell wall of the lysosome. As if the tick-tick wouldn't have tick-tick, I would be telling wrong. Anyway. So that is one thing. Then there are cellular barriers. Cellular barriers means this: macrophages, T cells, B cells, cell-mediated immunity, humoral immunity, right or wrong? And tumor necrosis factors, NKC, natural killer cells, NKC. Remember, one type of cell is there.